Hello, welcome back. Yes, I'm here to talk about running your adventures, and we're going to deal with the villain Lair and Doomsday devices. And yes, I'm late. I'm late. I wouldn't say I'm very, very late, but I'm definitely late. Better that for me to be late and get straight into it, rather than to make you sit there for 5 or 10 minutes while the live stream is waiting to actually start. I don't like doing that. So I'm going to put up a poll. You feel free to take part in that poll. We're going to get straight into this topic. I thought that Doomsday devices was going to be a simple and easy topic. Well, I was wrong. So if this is a little bit longer than I was hoping, then I'm going to apologise now, but it's complicated. I didn't realise how complicated. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's rock into this. Let's talk about the Doomsday device. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. And today's topic, as it happens, is the Doomsday device. Doomsday. Yes, we want to talk about the Doomsday device for our villain Lairs, because a villain Lair needs to have a Doomsday device, whatever it is. And of course, we include our villain Lair into our adventures. So what are some Doomsday devices? Well, I have a list of you, probably not the only list you could use, but this is my list. The atomic bomb or missile that involves fusion or fission with atomic particles, with fusion being pushing the atoms together to create a huge explosion of energy, or fission, okay, where we separate things. Okay, we're not pushing it together, we're pulling them apart now. And then when you pull it apart, you generate a lot of energy. So the atomic bomb. Then we have the deadly virus or disease. That is a destructive microorganism that breaks down all of the creature's DNA and their cell structure, resulting in their death. Then we have the tried and true laser beam that superheats something or disintegrates anything it comes in contact with, whether that be living or not living. Then we have poisonous gas and organisms that release a toxin into the environment, shutting down the animal's biological functions, resulting in their death. Then we have the nanobot. Basically, tiny little robots. This technology deconstructs everything. It pulls it apart into its essential bits and pieces, and then it might even reproduce itself. And there's just no space left. Once it keeps reproducing itself, there's just no space left in the galaxy or the world for anything else. Then we have killer robots, of course, or even maybe giant killer robots that are near indestructible and have only one goal: kill living creatures. Then we have genetically generated or created giant monsters or beasts that cause mass destruction, whether that's the destruction of buildings or the environment, or just the organisms and creatures and animals and beasts living in that environment. Then, of course, you can always open up a portal to hell and release demons and devils onto the world or into the universe and let them take over. Of course, everything's going to burn, and of course, everybody's going to suffer quite a lot and potentially die and become something else. Who knows? Ash. There's going to be a lot of ash. Then we have the black hole generator, or you could also just take a portable hole if you're playing D&D and stick it inside a bag of holding, creating a region of space and time where gravity is so strong that nothing can escape, including light. That means everything gets sucked in and then ground down into just about nothing. Then, of course, we could go another step further. We go, what about a gravity manipulator that increases or even decreases the strength of gravity to cause a wide range of problems? If you make your gravity so strong, everything on your planet suddenly gets crushed and there's nothing left, or you make gravity so weak that everything flies off the planet and disappears into space. What about a microwave emitter that projects radiation that heats up or even cooks an animal or creature from the inside out? We know what that's like. Surely we understand that concept. What about the weather control machine that creates storms and rain, high winds, hot and cold temperatures, and lightning strikes? I hate to say it, this thing exists. Then we have the earthquake creator, or machine, which basically shifts the flow of magma under the planet's crust to cause seismic events. Another thing that actually does exist. Time machine. Now, we always think about time machine as in traveling in time back and forth, but you could do something much worse with a time machine that allows you to speed up time, slow down time, not travel in time, but speed it up and slow it down. And then you can manipulate the timeline, causing a whole lot of paradoxes, which will probably unravel the entire universe. What about an ionization projector that corrodes living flesh? It actually breaks down and makes it age faster, or even metal starts to corrode and rust, or other materials just break down because you're using this ionization projector. The meteor gun. Now, the meteor gun is one of my favorites. It's a huge cannon that fires massive rocks at a spaceship or at a planet, and basically you just bombard your target with meteors or asteroids. Then, of course, you have natural disasters. If you could find something that can create a massive natural disaster like a tidal wave or volcanic eruptions, why not do that? Yay! Then we have raising the undead magically. I mean, of course, we have the undead that are like spread by a virus, but that's boring. Let's use magic instead. What about swarms of insects that just eat everything? All the plants, all the people, and they just swarm around and eat everything like a voracious insect, like a locust. Then we have the infinity gauntlets, which is one of my least favourite concepts for a doomsday device. It's basically a magic glove that has stones on it that gives you a wish. And I wish to end all life. Click and you're done. And then, of course, you could fabricate a doomsday device that allows you to anger the gods. You manage to actually figure out to do whatever it is that you need to piss off the gods, and guess what? They lay waste to the entire universe or galaxy. Lots of different ways you can do it. You can pick your destructive method. It's up to you. Those are the ideas I had for you today. I hope they are useful to you. And if you have your own doomsday ideas, by all means, share them with me. I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon. I want to thank you for watching and listening. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. I'm going to apologise now. I apologise that took so long to get through. I'm trying very, very hard to get my presentations down to less than 8 minutes. Why? So that YouTube cannot run mid-roll ads in my edited videos. That is literally one of the major reasons why I've been doing that. So for those of you who are here, let's have a little chat about doomsday devices, shall we? I think it's a fun topic. It's certainly the topic. Look, if you think about a villain lair, the first thing you think about is, well, what sort of doomsday device does the villain lair possess? What is it that they're going to try to do? So let's have a discussion about that. I thought that would be a fun topic. Now, we would normally build something or make something, and what I'm probably going to do is if you guys come up with something that I haven't talked about, then I'll add to the list. Let's say that's how I'm going to work it for today. So hashtag, what is a doomsday device or McMuffin? They're not going to McGuffin. McGuffin. You can use in a villain lair. There's so many. James Bond has got some of the best doomsday devices under the sun, but not the only place, actually, as it happens. So I'm going to put this in, and you're going to share your ideas, and we have a little chat about this for today. I think it's a nice topic. Fred Huber and Derp, thank you for being here. Both patrons, thank you for showing up. I'm going to go through the chat in a second, but I realised that I need more water. So I might just grab this bottle of water and just drink from that. an upclassed glyph of warding. Upcast? I don't feel like a glyph of warding is going to be a doomsday device. Like, how much destruction can you do that? I mean, even if you upgrade it to 9th level, it still ain't that good. You know what I mean? I mean, even the spell Meteor Swarm is not really a doomsday device. It doesn't do that much damage. It doesn't cause that much trouble. Come on. Think global destruction. At least the world has to suffer in some way. I mean, that's the doomsday devices. Something's got to suffer big time. Otherwise, what was the point? Anyway, have you used a doomsday device in your adventures? Yes, 50% have said yes, and no, 50%. There's only 2 votes, so that'll be part of the reason why there's it's split. All right, let's have a look what you've got to say here today. My Lich Lair has a permanent forbiddance elementals. And what, these elementals are just really, really big and powerful and they cause a lot of destruction? Is that what we're talking about? Now the players can't cast forbiddance, undead, and ruin his day. Okay. No need to worry about being late. I was late today. I realise. But also I realised that usually what I've been trying to do recently is try to keep my notes on any topic I want to discuss as short as possible so I can get it done in about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes at the most. And I realised that I just couldn't do that with today's topic. It was just too hard. Again, I will remind you, there's nothing I can do about ads. Even if I turn ads off at my end, that doesn't stop ads being played. I can't even control it. Even though I set it up so it's supposed to play an ad when you jump in every 30 minutes, YouTube's just ignoring all of that. It's a waste of, I have no control of it anymore at all. And they've become far more aggressive about the whole process. And I apologise. There's not much I can do about that. What I can do is hopefully edit down the presentation today into an edited video that's less than 8 minutes so they can't run ads during it, but only at the end and at the beginning. Okay, anyway, what else we got here? It's a doomsday. Thälsa Doomsday. I mean, here's the thing with Thälsa Doom. What was Thälsa Doom actually trying to achieve? Thälsa Doom didn't seem to be achieving very much other than to control people. When I think Doomsday Machine, I don't think take over the control of the population. That's a different thing. A Doomsday device in a villain lair, its ultimate purpose is the destruction of a very large part of the world, probably the world ultimately. That's the whole idea of the Doomsday device. And then and we actually have a real life Doomsday device running right now. Iron Hand, the Russians' Iron Hand, is a real life Doomsday device. Should anybody be stupid enough to fire off enough atomic weapons that there's an increase in radioactivity in a certain region of the planet, then this ship that just sails around permanently activates with enough fissionable or atomic weaponry on it, it would just wipe out the planet. We actually have our own Doomsday device sailing around on the seas right this very moment. And that is probably the only reason why we haven't had a World War III with nuclear weapons, because you just can't win that one. That just wipes everybody out. Doesn't matter whether you think you can get at them first or not. The spell that sounds too good because it is raise dead fully area effect, 100 miles, no time limit. Oh. Is there a spell? The spell that sounds too good because it is raise dead fully, full area effect, 1,000 miles, no time limit. I see. Okay. I think another thing that we need to consider is the idea of the wish spell. Like anything that would allow you to cast a wish spell. And that means like a Doomsday device could very well be a genie lantern, a genie's lamp. Like a genie's lamp, if they have access to the wish spell and you get 3 wishes or even 1 wish, you could just wish for the end of the world. So let's put down a genie lamp that grants the holder a wish. That wish used to end the world. That would be a doomsday device for sure. I think that would definitely make a pretty nasty doomsday device. And I think what you're doing here with the spell idea, I mean, you'd have to be able to cast the spell over and over again. So the creation of a spell that allows you to do something like that. I think that's what you're trying to get at, right? So let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's just do this. Let's just do that. I think, Fred, I think I got your idea here. I'm just going to plant this in here, add it to my little list. I think you've made your spell way too weak though. Okay. Let's bump up the power. This is not a doomsday spell, really. This is not a doomsday spell that sounds too good to, because it is the spell raises the dead. Let's do that. Raises the dead fully, that raises the dead in a area effect. Well, let's go 10,000. Let's not be stingy, shall we? And Anne. No light time limit. So yeah, okay. Let's try that one. Why not? Hello, Pale Rider. Hello, Ugly Weirdo. How are you? Welcome to my Doomsday discussion. Doomsday devices. Hello, Milton. How you doing? Glyph of warding upcast. I still don't see it. An item when short into is it shot? When short shot. I think it's shot into a gas giant planet increases the mass to the point of bursting into a star or an existing star to cause an supernova. I see what you're trying to say. So oh, that's a little okay. All right, let's so that's a clever idea. A device that increases mass infinitely. Let's not mess around here, shall we? Infinitely, so that a sun supernovas. Okay. That'll cause a bit of that'll throw out your good hair day completely. What else have we got here? Mist of the Walking Dead infects everyone just like the show Walking Dead. Mist of the Walking Dead. So Mist of the Walking Dead, what is the Mist of the Walking Dead? Is that a virus or is that a magical effect? We've really got those both covered as far as I'm concerned. I mean, really, the walking undead is a very common thing, right? We've got the walking undead. You missed what I said about the glyph? Okay, so what I said about the glyph is the glyph of warding is not a very powerful spell, so even if you were to upcast it, it'd never do very much. And then putting forbiddance in it, I just don't see, I just don't know how doomsday is that. I just don't see it. Shot, not short. No, I got it. What do you got here, Milton? Advertising is 100% outside of the YouTube creator control, supposedly. They can make some suggestions, but most of the time It doesn't do anything unless you have a huge amount of subscribers. It has we have no control over it. I can assure you I have no control over it. And I can assure you even big YouTubers probably have no control over it. Heck, if you've got a big YouTuber, you're going to have advertising from YouTube, and then you're going to get the sponsorship, which is basically another ad built into your video, which you're not supposed to do, but they let them do it because they let them do it. You know. Okay, Doomsday device opens a massive portal to the plane of fire under a super volcano. Well, that's true. So let's just expand the one with open the portal. Let's see here. We can because the earthquake creator is one thing. We can actually turn this into what would be the right word for it? It's kind of like an extension of this that shifts the flow of magma under the planet's crust, cause seismic events, or super volcano eruptions. Oh, that would be bad. Okay, all right, I got that. I think we got that tied in there nicely. As for opening a portal to another plane of existence, we've got opening portals. We've got well, opening. I mean, ultimately, in the end, opening a portal to hell is like opening a portal to the plane of fire. Because the plane of fire would just be full of fire elementals that would just burn everything to a cinder, wouldn't it? Hello, Matt. How you doing? How's it going? Hope you're having a good time. Hope things are going well. What's hyper death, ugly weirdo? You lost me on that one. How much death? I mean, you can only be so dead. Like if you're dead, you're dead. So how is hyper death working here? A hyper death ray. It shoots hyper death. what does that mean? You're gonna have to explain it. I'm not sure. I really don't. What are you doing to them? You know, are you aging their body prematurely, really fast? Are you causing their body to be superheated and then, you know, you good? Okay, good. Hello. No, I'm glad to hear it, Matt. So, ugly weirdo, give me a little bit more information. You need to explain your hyper death ray a bit more. Think of everything that ever died, clear back to the beginning of time in an area coming back. There'd be miles of dead, miles deep creatures crushed each. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, but what would that do? Would you wind up bringing back a whole lot of oil oozes? Because they've been crushed into oil. You've got a whole lot of oil oozes everywhere. Throw fire at them, they catch on fire. Okay, Milton, what do you got here? A device to steal a star out of the sky. One day, somebody just happens to dried on the sun. I am lost. I have no idea what that means. I am lost. Cause Pluto to impact Earth. So this is why I was thinking in terms of, you know, a device that could change gravity could potentially pull something closer, push something away, increase gravity, decrease gravity. What you're kind of suggesting is, if anybody remembers the old movie, there's The Last Starfighter had a meteor gun. You could fire meteorites. And there was also Flash Gordon, the movie, where Ming would use a meteorite gun and he would fire meteorites at Earth, causing all sorts of destruction. So that's kind of where my head was going with that. So, okay. What else have we got here? So, Matt, I ripped off the blue fire from GOT. What is GOT? And used it to blow up Netherwinter Castle. Not quite a doomsday, but a weapon of mass destruction nevertheless. True, I agree. Absolutely. Mist of the Walking Dead infects every living being. If a living person dies for a reason, they raise up again. So this is basically a disease that causes undeath. That's what we're talking about. We've already got sort of the undead magically. I suppose we could just incorporate as it a disease as well. We'll just bundle them together. Where is it? Magically raise the undead. Raise the undead magically, or with a what do you call it? With a viral infection. Yep. Very, very common nowadays. In fact, it's so common it's almost a bit much. The Cleansing Flood, an artifact that melts and ice all the ice on the planet at one time. that's funny. But that would be a very good, effective way to create a doomsday device, wouldn't it? If you melt all the icebergs and all the polar caps, bam! Suddenly your planet is underwater. Okay. A device or artifact that melts the polar caps, increasing the ocean levels, resulting in giant tidal waves and flooding. I think that's good. Yep, absolutely. That'll get it done. That'll get the job done, won't it? For sure. Clone Godzilla and turn 1,000 of them loose. Well, that was the kaiju idea. Like I put in the kaiju idea already, which was basically that you genetically create massive beasts or monsters that cause mass destruction. So yeah, it's kind of the same sort of thing. It's fun to come up with ways to destroy an entire world. Let's get real. If you're going to give them steaks, those are probably pretty good steaks. Anyway, but no, I like the idea, Pale Rider. The cleansing flood. What about the Mega Maid vacuums up the planet's atmosphere? Spaceballs? The Mega Maid? Really? It's amusing. It's certainly amusing. So you're telling me that one of the gods decides just to vacuum up some planets, and as a result, there's just no more planets left, or vacuum up all of the atmosphere and the clouds and so forth around the planet so that it ends the world. It's very Spaceballsy, yes, for sure. Godzilla versus Godzilla. Who loses? Tokyo. Probably the world. I don't think it's just going to be Tokyo. Come on. No, it can't be just Tokyo. So, so where did I pull some of these ideas from? Well, there were a lot of real-life doomsday devices that people have tried to make over the years. The worst ones are always to do with manipulating the atmosphere of our planet, weather, and then of course atomic particles, fission and fusion are pretty bad too. But even manipulating the magma and the plates and how they shift, the crust and how it shifts, that's not a good one either. So I guess the deadly virus or disease that destroys. I was thinking plague when I was thinking about this, because the Black Plague is one of those things that it's not completely gone. It's just you don't get a lot of it in the world nowadays. So, and that wiped out a huge portion of the population. That was really destructive, and that's a real thing, right? Google Spaceballs. Okay, all right. I don't know if I can Google Spaceballs right now, but I believe you. I have watched Spaceballs. Just been a long time ago. An item that makes the planet's gravity 5 times that of the sun. Well, that's why I was talking about a gravity manipulator, which you can increase or decrease the gravity, because that's one of the things. If you were to increase the gravity of the planet, make it 5 times that of whatever it was, you wouldn't even have to make it 5 times the sun. But if you increase the gravity, like it would crush everything down, right? You might wind up with a black hole if you're not careful. But by increasing the gravity just a little bit, certainly anything living on that planet would probably fail to survive anymore. So that's certainly another way of getting the job done, right? And then if you were to actually reduce the gravity on a planet, then you'd run the risk of actually floating right off into space, and then of course being killed in the vacuum of space as you just continue to leave the planet's surface and just float away. Lots of rather horrible ways of losing it. And then laser beams. Look, laser beams have been used forever, right? The super laser beam. I'm going to get the head of the hat. The hat's not helping me. My brain is starting to overheat. The really powerful laser beam that is highly destructive, and of course a laser beam like the dam that's mounted on the Death Star in Star Wars to blow up a planet. And then you've got Star Killer Base, which can blow up more than one planet. But laser beams have been used for years, whether it's superheat it or disintegrate something. And then, of course, poisonous gas and organisms that release toxins. Well, I mean, gosh, there are so many neurotoxins that have been made over the years. That this is, it's frightening to even think. And of course, nature has plenty of their own. I think the one that sort of stands out for me the most is, if you remember, there's an old movie called Moonraker. And in Moonraker, they take a flower which is highly poisonous and causes sterility, but it doesn't kill you. But because it causes sterility, then you eventually just can't reproduce enough to create enough of your race, and you just die out. But the villain in this one actually increases the potency, and it actually kills you outright. Like, it kills you very, very quickly in a number of seconds. And that would be poison. And toxins and poisons, they have this tendency to sort of sedate you. And they make all of your muscles relax, or sometimes they can make them contract. But quite often they shut everything down, so your heart just stops and all your organs just shut down and stop operating. So there's no blood flow, organism dies. What else have you got here, people? A song drives everyone insane. Are you talking a little bit like Mars Attacks? Is it Tim Burton's Mars Attacks, where the Martian aliens come to Earth and they play a really horrible sounding song and their heads explode? I feel like that's where that idea is coming from. Oh dear. So let's put this down. Let's include that. That's funny. A jukebox of jukebox of doom. Of screams. How's that? Screams. That plays music so bad that creatures go insane and their heads explode. Oh, that is some sick stuff. All right, today is obviously a sick day. The worldwide feeble mind type spell. I see what you're trying to go there. I don't feel like feeble mind is actually a doomsday device. Doomsday device is destructive, right? We're not trying to mind control them or make them just really stupid. We're trying to wipe them out. Now, I do remember there being some science around affecting electromagnetic fields, and if you were to affect the electromagnetic field of a planet, you would probably kill everything on the planet. It's very, very important, right? But that, I think like a gravity manipulator would probably affect the magnetic field. So that's sort of the same sort of thing to a certain degree. Maybe there's something else. I think you're onto something, but yeah, I'm just wondering what it would look like. I'll just pull this idea here. I cannot remember because they were saying that there is a thing that could affect or disrupt the magnetic field of our own planet, right? We could use that. What else? Baby shark endless loop. do. You've never heard Baby Shark? Neither have I. I'm not sure what we're talking about. I really don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. You'll have to explain it to me. What else have we got here? So I was going through my little list here, wasn't I? Sort of explaining some of the things. So going back to nanobot technology. Nanobot technology isn't quite at the same level as the likes of some of the science fiction that we've seen, but it's heading that way, unfortunately. But does anybody remember an old, was it a TV series? I think it was a TV series, a German TV series actually, called Lex. And Lex, on their adventures, comes upon a nanobite or a microbot that reproduces itself. It constantly recreates itself over and over again. And to do so, what it does is it pulls something else apart, whether that's a chair or a table or a person, and it uses all the pieces of the thing they've pulled apart to make more of itself. And so it replicates and just keeps replicating. So wherever it goes, it's just, we'll just take a planet and deconstruct it and use all the parts of the planet to make more of these nanobots. That is a terrifying concept. I think they presented the idea in the Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves, which is a really horrible version of the Day the Earth Stood Still. I think the original one is far better myself, even though the special effects are obviously dated. But yes, the newer one, it certainly had an interesting idea. I just don't think it was in the right vein for what the Day the Earth Stood Still was trying to communicate to people. It was a bit out there. Next, what else is there that I was... oh, that's right. So, killer robots. You've probably all seen the Terminator movie, and killer robots, artificial intelligence, giant robots from Captain Sky, the Sky Captain, and something I can't remember the heck it is. It's Jude Law, wasn't it? And some other actress, I can't remember but giant robots destroying a planet is pretty common idea as well. Even the giant robot was sort of had that sort of theme going. And then of course we've got all of the Godzilla movies, all the giant monster movies that are made by Japan and various other places, and And then, of course, all of the kaiju Pacific Rim movies around genetically created monsters that cause mass destruction, stuff like that. And of course, opening portals to hell and releasing demons and devils, or opening the world to the plane of fire or something like that, and so it burns. I mean, that's Hellboy, and just about every sort of hellish. I mean, was it Hellraiser? It's kind of a bit like that, I suppose, to a certain degree. Although I think that was more of a microcosm rather than a macrocosm idea, wasn't it? I've heard that Baby Shark is more annoying than Barney. I love you. You love me. I love you. You love me. Is it? Okay. I don't know where we're going with this. Hand out addictive electronic devices and people stop doing anything other than playing electronic games. Eventual starvation. Dear. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Well, yes. Yes, Huber. Yes, you may have a point there. That I suppose that's always a possibility. You're not suggesting that our current society's addiction to the use of cell phones, laptops, tablets, the internet, computers and so forth might actually spell the doom of our own civilization, as we simply refuse to go to the toilet, eat, drink, and we just starve? Well, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Ah, dear. What do I got here, Pale Rider? The replicator was also in Stargate and Farscape. Yes, I do remember that. I can't remember if Lex came before Stargate or Farscape. I did watch both those TV series, though. To be fair, though, with Stargate, I kind of stopped at a certain point. Once the main characters started to sort of drift off and disappear, and then were no longer part of the package, I lost interest in Stargate. For me, there were three to four main characters. One played by the guy who played MacGyver. The other one, is it James? It was James Spade was his name. I can't remember. And then we had the lady. What was her name? She was in it for years. She was really good. And then we had the guy who played the guild host or whatever. I can't remember what his name was. It's been so long. But yeah, early Stargate was good. Later Stargate, I just lost interest. To be fair, I've lost interest in TV pretty much all the time nowadays, and I just watch movies. Anyway, so let's have a look. So black hole generator. So here's an interesting concept. Does anybody remember the old Disney black hole movie? Now, they didn't. In that movie, you weren't actually generating or creating a black hole. The idea was that to build technology that could sit you on the horizon of a black hole without being sucked in. I always thought that was great, but I always wondered, like, what's the deal with the black hole? Why are you doing this? Are you travel to another galaxy or another universe or something like that? It's like a portal. But one of the, what was it, recent Star Trek movies? I think it was the one that J.J. Abrams did, just called Star Trek, one of the newer ones, where they had that red matter which causes, if it causes a black hole and sucks everything in. But yes, I've had my players put portable holes in a bag of holding or another bag of holding into another bag of holding and create black holes. It's always fun. It's always fun to have a black hole open up and they're like, what are you going to do now? You've only got a short space of time. Better think fast. The gravity manipulator, I think Man of Steel's World engine's a really good example of a gravity manipulator, which increases gravity, but you could have one that decreases gravity, which would be terrible. Really, really bad. My Farmville farm still exists. Oh. Ah, dear. Nice. All right. So you just gonna keep it. Just let it keep running. What's another one that? So the microwave emitter. Now a microwave emitter, they've actually made these things in reality. They actually do exist, and they do all sorts of terrible things to your insides. They can microwave you and heat you up and cook you from the inside for sure, but they can cause your innards to vibrate so badly that you will actually vomit and poop everywhere. Like you just lose control of your bowels because your organs inside, and your bowels in particular, since it's one of the largest organs you have, just loses control. It was a terrible, horrible way to go. But yeah, that thing actually does exist. And the technology behind it is pretty well known. So like, ugh. Next we have the weather control machine. For those of you who are unaware, HARP is supposedly a weather control machine. I think we can probably pretty much establish that it's not really a conspiracy theory at this present point. I think it's pretty well established that the thing actually can do what it says it's going to do. It's supposed to only monitor, but I don't think it does that. I think we can pretty much establish that they've been messing around with that sort of thing for a while. There was a alternative version of iRobot where the robots win, and they insist humans do nothing. That might cause them to even get a bruise, and that includes procreate. Really? Oh no. Oh dear, that's a problem. So, death by doing nothing. Now, does anybody remember the movie Serenity, where they put something into the water supply, and this is supposed to make you more docile, and the effect was it made a very small portion of the population incredibly aggressive, and they would just attack and just eat everything and everyone, and just cause massive damage to themselves. But the majority of the population would just stop doing everything. They would just sit there. They wouldn't eat, they wouldn't sleep, they wouldn't drink, and they would simply die of starvation because they just didn't do anything. So it's an interesting way of looking at a doomsday device as something that would just stop you from doing anything. Next. So I was talking about HARP and weather control machines. Earthquake creator. So this is suppose is still in the vicinity of conspiracy theory stuff, isn't it? As far as I remember. But there is some technology that suggests that it's possible to affect the flow of magma under the planet's crust, which means you'd actually create earthquakes or seismic events, or even cause a volcanic eruption. So that's now that idea comes from, and where was it that I saw it? Let's see if I can think of a book or a movie that's related to it. For the life of me right now, it slipped in my mind. The time machine one is different. I always feel like time machine stories or time stories, they always talk about paradoxes, and if you have a paradox, it unravels the universe and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah, and you've got branching theory and all that sort of stuff. But usually when it comes to time machines, we talk about traveling in time back and forth, not about actually manipulating time and speeding it up or slowing it down. But time could be sped up and slowed down by using gravity. So it would be just an extension of that. So time is a product of gravity, and since time is a product of gravity, all you need to do is be able to affect gravity if you can figure out how to do that. An ionization projector, well, that would be basically releasing ionized particles at something, and ionized particles don't do a lot of damage to anything. So whether that be metal, another substance, or even living flesh, so it would actually cause it to break down more quickly. So an ionizing projector would be, I don't think, outside of the realm of science right now. It would be just a horrible concept to even consider building, though. The meteor gun, as I said, is definitely taken from Flash Gordon and Ming the Merciless and the last Starfighter and their meteor gun. Okay, so let's add in something that causes everybody to stop doing something. So a liquid, gas, or device that forces all creatures to stop doing everything resulting in starvation and dehydration. I think I got it. Nope. Nope, I don't, but I got it. Okay, I got it marked down though. It's there. Austin Powers. Maybe. I can't remember. I know Austin Powers had a laser beam. I don't know if he had like a... I don't know. I'm not too sure. The Terraform device changes the world into an unsurvivable atmosphere. Oh, I see. Okay. Grey goo. A polymer turns all water into gel. Death by Jello. Nice. Okay, so I think that's our discussion on how to destroy a planet, a universe, the galaxy with various devices and magic for today. Which, of course, is a terribly sick idea. I have written down all these ideas. There are 28 of them. I'm sure you could come up with more, with little nuances if you really want. But since this conversation has clearly gone off the rails, no, it hasn't really. It's been pretty tame today. It's been pretty tame. It's been a bit dark, but it's definitely pretty tame. We're going to probably come back, and the next time we do Villain Lairs, we actually started a 100 regional effects. So things that you don't consciously control, things that would sort of, if you had a regional effect for your Villain Lair, this is very much related to legendary monsters in 5e. They have sort of regional effects. And so the idea is to sort of expand on that and build it out a lot more than we have in the past. I'm all for going through and doing that. Even Lair actions, and having a great huge list of Lair actions for those people who want to have that sort of thing. So I'm sure that'll be our task for the future. But for today, it's death by Jello, or a variety of other rather horrible and perverted methods. What's this? Did I just end? I ended my poll, but did it end my poll, or just not showing up now? That's weird. The necromancer turned lich puts the formula into the water. Everyone's a lich, and they all hate each other. Lich wars. Okay, all right, nice, well done. Yeah. So I ended the poll, and it doesn't actually show up, as the results don't show up. Is this another update that YouTube has done? Is this literally how YouTube thinks they need to operate? No, that's showing up. It's just didn't show up before. Okay, all right. It's just YouTube is a little slow. Okay, fine. So what am I doing this week? Usually I like to tell you guys sort of what I had planned for the week, what I have lined up for you. So for those few of you that are here, I'm going to let you know what I'm going to do for the week. It's a busy week. I am honestly not too sure if I will survive it, because my hay fever has been so bad, but I'm certainly going to give it a go. So as of today is done, but tomorrow we'll be covering magic items. That's the Game Master preparation stuff. So tomorrow I'm covering magic items this week. Then I'll be covering a monster called the Dubo Dam. The Dubo Dam, which is a very strange monster. I will be doing the Fanged Deserter character creation for Morkborg or Merkborg. We'll be doing basic combat mechanics for Shadow Dark, the RPG. And the end of the week we'll be finishing off with fixing or remastering the Wizard for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. That's if I survive all of this. I have no idea if I will get burnt out along the way. I'm noticing that the last month is always the hardest one before I go on holiday. Trying to keep my shite together. It's quite difficult. There is no tomorrow, only right now. Okay, hello awareness, how are you doing? Okay, I'm going to get going. I'm going to let you guys get on with your day. I'm sure you've got other things to do with your time, other than listen to me and watch YouTube ads. so I'm going to get out of here. And for those of you who understand the joke, yes, pollen is like a Death Star. They're both deadly, as far as I'm concerned. I think I'd prefer the Death Star than the pollen. I want to say a huge thank you to all of my patrons who support me on Patreon. I want to thank everybody who took part in the poll today, who's been watching and listening, and particularly those of you who have been interacting in the chat. So Awareness, thank you for being here. Fred Huber, who is a patron, I mentioned that before. Derp, also a patron, thank you for being here. Matt, thank you for being here. Pale Rider, and I hope I haven't missed anybody, but it's always possible that I have. And if I have missed you, I wasn't intending to. Ugly Weirdo, oh, and Milton, I forgot about Ugly Weirdo Milton. Sorry about that, buddies. Okay, so have a good day. So wherever you are, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.